Hi and welcome to everyone joining us for this pre-recorded show. It is recorded early hours on Friday morning for the Saturday meeting at Durbanville, and the first race at Durbanville is due off at 1300 hours. And as is the norm, our resident expert in Cape Town, Graham Hawkins. Firstly, Graham, how are you doing? And secondly, what's the weather looking like for the race day?
Thank you, Sheldon. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Nice chatting to you again. Lovely day. Yeah, we record this on Friday morning. It's a beautiful day here on Friday, but grey, but it's a lovely, pleasant day. But it promises to be a little cooler and a little windy at Hollywoodbets Durbanville on Saturday. But nonetheless, should be a good day's racing.
Let's get straight into the action for race number 1, where the anti-post betting has the well-named number 5, Iguguletu. Iguguletu priced up at 28 to 10. Number 3, Deception Pass, 7 to 2. And then number 11, Tyrion Lannisters, shortened from 6 to 1 down 9 to 2. Graham, any of those three your first selection?
Tyrion Lannister would be my first selection, but I really don't like, being an 8-race card, obviously race 1 is the first leg of the bipod, and as you know, I'm a bipod fan. I love playing my bipods, and I really don't like races 1, 2, or 3. Obviously, we'll go through them in depth, but there are 2 potential bankers in the form of Trip of Fortune in race 4 and Tail of the Comet in race 6. So I'm going to be sort of going a little wider in the opening races. I don't trust these first 3 races on the card. My top choice in the first would be number 11, Tyrion Lannister, raced in the Langerman back in July, so that was in a feature race. Prior to that, had good form. Does have an awkward draw to overcome. Richard Faree takes the ride for the informed Pit Buerter stable. Really been doing nicely, Pit Buerter, in recent race meetings. Might need the run, but has the form to win a race of this sort. But there's no standouts here. Iguguletu, I'm not sure what to make of the Whiskey Bravo form lines. I'm sitting on the fence a little bit with Iguguletu. Deception Pass, of course, comes in from the Highveld. First run on this track, first run round a left-handed bend, so we're going to have to see how the Michael Azzi trained Deception Pass goes, but is drawn well and does get the services Gavin Arena. 2020 Vision suddenly showed improvement behind Raf's Rocket last time out after a horrendous run behind Grand Bay, but that was in very soft conditions, so we'll ignore that. So from the worst of the draw, 2020 Vision does have some claims. Then there are 2 improvers. Number 7, Terminator, I'm expecting that to show a lot of improvement in its second start. And note that number 9, Unicorn Alert, there's a declaration, has been gelded. So he ran as a colt first time out, has been gelded, and that could turn into significant improvement for the son of Vercingetorix. So all in all, I think quite a tough race. Miraculous Man from the Kelly Mitchley raiding stable from Port Elizabeth has a run in the ready-to-run race. Although consistent, possibly faces a little tougher here. So I'm going to make Tyrion Lannister my first choice. But I'm going to put 5 horses in the opening leg of the bipod. I'm going to include all of numbers 3, 5, 7, 11 and 12, and possibly even number 9, Unicorn Alert. So 6 horses to go into the first leg of the bipods. I don't trust this race at all.
Well, there you go. Rather be on the safe side than on the outside. So go in, stick as many numbers as you can in race number 1. Moving on to race number 2. The distance is 1,250 meters. It will be the opening leg of the place accumulator. And just having a look at the draw stats. Draw number 1. Very, very popular draw from the last 235 races. If you're a stats man, draw number 1. So that'll bring number 1 as a horse to throw into the trifectas and quartets. However, Graham, this horse who made a very promising debut from the Crawford Ricks stable, the daughter of William Longsword, what did you make of that introduction? It was very promising, seemed to be quite easy on the eye.
Very promising first run for Kawakazi, and obviously Richard Faree is a significant jockey booking for the Crawford Ricks stable. Second choice in the market at the moment at 30 speed to 10. The early money has been for number 8, Quick Trip. Also raced on very heavy ground last time out in a feature when solidly beaten by October Morn, who also races in this meeting. Quick Trip's form before that was pretty decent. A lot of that form, of course, was on soft going in the winter months, so we need to respect the market move for number 8, Quick Trip. You've mentioned number 1, the Raider from the Yuan Youngster from Furen Stable. I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Has decent form, jumps out of pole position. Number 3, Ticking Bomb. The reports are good, and it's a well-bred first-timer. Number 9, Trey Schick has a bit of a chance, as does number 11, Bright Duchess, who's improving all the while for the Dean Cannemeyer outfit, has the worst of the George Overcome. Again, as I said earlier, I don't really trust the first 3 races in the card, but I'm not sure you need to go that wide as far as the bipod and the place accumulators are concerned in race 2. My top choice would be number 7, Kawakazi, ahead of number 8, Quick Trip, and number 11, Bright Duchess. And I'm probably going to rely on those 3 to get me through the bipod and the place accumulator. But as you've mentioned, if you want to include others, then all of numbers 1, 2, 3, and 9 must have chances.
Moving on to race number 3, and when you look at the third race, a horse called Call to Unite, number 9, the Vercingetorix, Grant van Niekerk for the powerful Justin Snaith stable. He has another horse who made the debut at Durbanville, so that'll be a big plus second time at the races.
Absolutely, the experience will count in his favour. It's going to be interesting to see how 2020 Vision goes in the first race. That ran second, narrowly beaten by Raf's Rocket. And here we have Call to Unite, who was only a short head behind 2020 Vision. So we'll see how 2020 Vision goes in the first, but obviously from an exotic bets perspective, we don't have that luxury, especially as far as the bipod is concerned. But my top choice, I don't know, I'm just impressed by this horse and the way he looks, and that's number 1, Celtic Chief. He let me down badly last time. I really fancied him strongly. He's drawn in pole position. Corne Alpha from the Inform Andre Nell stable. They're turning out some nice 2-year-old winners and 3-year-old winners. And I know that on strict collateral form, number 2, Mont Loisier, should have his beating again, and they're both well drawn. And Richard Faree takes the ride on number 2, Mont Loisier. But I just think that Celtic Chief has got more to come. So again, in this leg of the bipod and the place accumulator, I'm going with 3 horses. In order of preference, I'm going with numbers 1, Celtic Chief, number 9, Call to Unite, that you mentioned, very promising debut, could turn out to be the winner from an awkward draw, and number 2, Mont Loisier. Those are the 3 that make up my short list. For trifectas and quartets, you've got to consider number 3, Stars in Heaven, and the Candice Dawson runner, number 7, Salute the Flag, who made an eye-catching debut up at the Highveld. Prince of Tibet can continue to improve, and again, as the worst of the George Overcome, but must be considered for trifectas and quartets. But I'm going with numbers 1, 9, and 2 in the bipod, and Celtic Chief, I'm going to give him another chance. He's a very impressive-looking horse, and I think he's better than his last run, and I think that he could turn it around this time with Mont Loisier.
That'll shoot us into race number 4, where you mentioned a possible banker, one of the bankers on the card. The horse is called Trip of Fortune, which is number 9 from the Candice Bass Robinson stable. Alda de Meyer jumps aboard, and just looking at this individual, unbeaten over the course and distance, and he has a horse who's run with the best of the best, Graham. Obviously the Hollywoodbets Durban July, won the Drill All Stakes and the Horse Chestnut. The class package in the race?
Absolutely the class package, and I mean, yeah, he's unbeaten at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, 3 from 3 at the course. He's unbeaten 5 from 5 over the distance. Now, of course, he hasn't run since July. We saw Winter Cloud last week come out and went for the Candice Bass Robinson stable after a layoff, which he thought might just need the run. But Trip of Fortune, even if he's slightly short of his speed, his class should carry him through here. He loves the track, he loves the distance. So we can always look for ghosts. We can always look for reasons why good horses should get beat and not want to take the short prices and perhaps look for a miracle result. I'm not going to do that. I've gone wide in the opening 3 legs, as you've heard from this preview. I'm going to bank a number 9, Trip of Fortune. It'd be nice to see him win again. It'd be nice to see him remain unbeaten over the distance. Nice to see him remain unbeaten at the course. And certainly on ratings, he's got them stone cold. At My Command was a promising 3-year-old. Hard to see him matching strides with Trip of Fortune at level weights. We can go all night. He ran a good race last time out. He's really a nice sort. He's built to scale the heights that Trip of Fortune scale, but he does get 7.5 kilograms So a week ago all night is certainly going to be chasing him home and be a factor. Cosmic Highway, I can't help but believe he's a lot better than his recent form suggests, and he could show sudden improvement to finish in a trifecta quartet position. There are many that put up their hands for fighting out the minor money, but with a lot of confidence, I'm going to go with number 9, Trip of Fortune. I'm not looking for him to get beat.
There we go, Trip of Fortune. That'll be the banker on the day, looking for another course and distance victory. And as Graham mentioned, should be in the winner's box, and horse all have to beat. Let's move on to race number 5, and looking at the field for race number 5. It looks like quite a lively field, although number 6 Rascova's rated a 104. Graham has some terrific form behind the likes of Bavarian Beauty, Mrs. Geriatrics, Winter Cloud. So very, very decent horse, Rascova. And then you got the improvers like Beach Bomb or one or two others who could just be better than their rating at this point in time.
Yeah, I wouldn't read too much into the ratings. These are very early days for their 3-year-old careers, and their ratings will settle down over the next couple of months. But one thing is clear, these are all very nice fillies. This is a fascinating little race, this Prestige Plate 1400 metres, race 5 in the car. One scratching, number 4, Gimme That Pearl, is out. So that leaves us with 6 runners. Beach Bomb, entitled to be favourite, facile winner of the Iridescent Stakes, and the facile maiden winner before that. But both of those races were on very soft tracks. She clearly loved the cut in the ground. I'm sure she'll be fine on faster going, and she's going to try and prove that, and of course put her hand up in a big way for the Fillies Guineas. Raskova, another Fillies Guineas candidate, as you say, raced against the very best as a 2-year-old. And there's been anti-post support for Raskova. Beach Bomb is the favourite, and Raskova the second favourite. These two do dominate the early betting exchanges. Number 2, Secret Identity, interesting runner. Gavin Larena rides for the Crawford Rick stable. She was eye-catching in the Devon Air Stakes over 1,400 metres at Hollywoodbets Greyville during the season. Not a bad run behind Betula. Fluffed her lines in the Grade 1 Tiquini Stakes, but she's clearly got ability, Secret Identity, and of course they think very highly of her, so she could upset the top 2 in the market. And then, of course, Royals, Summer Lily, and to a lesser extent Canford Rose. It's hard to write any of them off because they're improving at different rates, but I do think it's going to rest between Beach Bomb and Raskova with some healthy respect for Secret Identity. But it's an interesting little race, a trappy little race. I guess tactics are going to play a role in how quick they go and don't go. But the cream always rises to the top. And Beach Bomb, of course, out of Beach Beauty, could stake a real claim here for the Fillies Guineas and maybe come home ahead of Raskova. But I'm not too confident in this race.
Right, talking about confidence as we move on to race number 6. You mentioned there's 2 bankers on the card, and race number 6 over 1,400 meters. Yeah, Taylor the Comet, number 3. This is a powerful individual. He's a son of Gimme the Green Light from the Sean Terry outfit. And looking at his record, first time out, the money poured on him at Scottsville. A week later, they ran him behind Outlaw King when he was a little bit unlucky. Just Bileka was in the same race. And then last time, Graham, he showed that he's a quality individual.
Yeah, he is a quality individual. There's no doubting that. He did run third, as you mentioned, behind Outlaw King in the Mkomazi Stakes. Now, Just Bileka was about 2 lengths behind him. So you've got to respect Candice Dawson's daughter, William Longsword, Just Bileka, because she's got really solid form as well. Good run behind Feather Boa last time out. Feather Boa, of course, is really decent. But we're in the camp of Tail of the Comet. What is interesting, Sheldon, I can't recall a young 3-year-old having only his 4th start, coming to a 4th different track and his 3rd different province. He's raced in KwaZulu-Natal, he's raced in the Highveld, and here he has his 4th outing in the Western Cape. Of course, it's a concern that he goes around a left-handed track for the first time, that he travels and he comes to Hollywoodbets Durbanville. But this race is a rich race. It's a ready-to-run race, 600,000 Rand on offer. And I think Sean Terry's obviously going to leave him here and prepare him for the Guineas from here. But this should be easy pickings. I think he's going to confirm the form with Just Bileka, although there was only 2 lengths between them in the Mkomazi Stakes. I think the best of the local hopes is number 11, Coastal Commander, but I think the money's going north. There's been solid support. You know, the bookmakers earlier, one of the betting platforms had him 11 to 10 earlier in the week. He's now 6.5 to 10. So the money's poured onto Tail of the Comet. He's well drawn. He's a class package. Richard Free knows his way around the track, even if Tail of the Comet doesn't, and he'll help Tail of the Comet the whole way. And so he's a confident selection. And along with Triple Fortune, there's 2 potential bipod bankers and indeed 2 potential pick 6 bankers. So I'm not looking to get them beat.
There we go, as you've heard from Graham. Very interesting about Tail of the Comet. He's got a nice strong name, he's got a reputation, he's done his travelling, and hopefully he'll reward all of his followers on Saturday. Let's move on to race number 7, which is the listed Southeaster Sprint. It's over 1,000 metres. Now, Graham, when you look at race number 7 over 1,000 metres, how do you dissect this race, and what would you suggest that the punters, they include in all their bets on this race?
Yeah, it's a trappy race. Normally the Southeaster Sprint is run down the straight at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, but we know there's work going on at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, and the return to racing there has been delayed, so they've been forced to run this year's renewal of the Southeaster Sprint at Hollywoodbets Durbanville, and the field perhaps lacks the depth and the quality of previous years' run, but it doesn't take away from its interest because there's a lot of form to go around. Mufasa is in terrific form. He's unbeaten 2 from 2 over the course and distance. And last time out, he was narrowly in front of Mr. Cobbs. Mr. Cobbs should get closer between them. Nothing to choose between number 6, Mr. Cobbs, number 7, Mufasa. Number 4, Rob the Mod. If you said to me a couple of months back this will be contesting a listed race, I would have said I doubt it very much, but he comes into the reckoning in this race having won 2 in a row and carrying just 52.5 with the services of Josh Solomon. So you can't rule him out. The Paul Reeve stable has also been in terrific form, as has owner Andy Elton. And Rob the Mod has certainly stepped up to the plate in recent runnings. Before I get on to my first choice, a filly that I keep going back to also under lightweight is 52.5 is Blue Holly. I think this is a tough task for her, but she clearly loves it around Hollywoodbets Durbanville. She's also unbeaten 2 from 2, and Ashton Harris gets on really well with her. So if you're going to throw in a real roughie in the race, then throw in number 9, Blue Holly. But my top choice would be Tempting Fate. I know he raced behind Mufasa last time and should, strictly speaking, be held by Mufasa. But I kind of think that he's going to go well. Drawn in gate 1. He's only had the 1 previous start at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. So my top choice would be number 1, Tempting Fate. He's currently at around 9 to 2. Of course, they're betting quite wide here. Mufasa would be my second choice. Mr. Cobbs, my third choice. And Rod the Mod, my fourth choice. But if you were to say to me, would I be against including the field in this lineup? I wouldn't be. It's that competitive. But the leading lights would be numbers 1, 4, 6, and 7. My marginal fancy is for Tempting Fate, but not with a great deal of confidence. It would be great to see him win a game, and he certainly seems to be dropping in the ratings and has a competitive chance. He's got as good a chance in this race as any.
There we go. That's race number 7 as we move into the territory of race number 8, which will be over 1,000 meters. Now, Graham, race number 8, there's a whole variety. We've got the fillies, we've got the colts, the 3-year-olds, the older horses. Very, very open-looking race.
Tough race, but I'm going to take my chances with the long shot. My value player of the day comes in here. Now, the betting is dominated, as you mentioned, by 2 3-year-old fillies, Golden Tatiana and October Morn. We mentioned October Morn earlier. She tried 1,500 meters last time. That was clearly too far. She reverts to 1,000 meters. She's won over a touch further than 1,000 meters in her 2 wins to date, the daughter of Trippy, but she's got a lot of speed in the pedigree, and she should certainly go well in this, her first run. Since July, she should come out and run well fresh. Golden Tatiana had a run on the 6th of August. So they're both returning from rest, Golden Tatiana and October Morn, but they're both superior 3-year-old fillies. Exchange Student, of course, represents the stable of Candace Dawson, also a 3-year-old filly by Trippy, also out of a Varmed, just like October Morn, has came back to form last time. And then you've got the other 3-year-old Icy Blast, who ran a good race in the Mkamazi behind Outlaw King. He was just behind Tail of the Comet. So you've got to respect Icy Blast with Richard Free in the informed Vaughan Marshall stable. In fact, of those, I would make Icy Blast my top choice ahead of October Morn, Golden Tatiana, and Exchange Student. But you mentioned that there's some hard-knocking older horses, and one of these is Bluff and Bluff. And he's drawn in pole position. His form is good. He's receiving weight. As an old campaigner, already a winner of 4 races, good form over the course and distance, he's receiving weight from all of Exchange Student, Golden Tatiana, Total Morn, and receiving a lot of weight from Icy Blast, who's conceding weight to the other fillies. So I'm going to go for value here with a real chance. I think Ashton Harry's riding for the Pitstone stable. It's 10-1 at the moment. My top choice would be Bluff and Bluff, and also have healthy respect for Dean Street. But so Bluff and Bluff is my value play for the day, Sheldon.
Excellent stuff. Thanks very much to Graham Hawkins joining us on the line. And you heard the 2 bankers earlier on. We've got Trip of Fortune in race 4 and then race 6, Tail of the Comet. And then if you're going into the lucky last race, number 1, Bluff on Bluff at around 10 and 12-1, that will be the value selection. Thanks very much, Graham. Have a wonderful day's racing. And let's hope the horses do it for us on the racetrack.
Yeah, that's the real test. That's the acid test. Sheldon, you have yourself a nice weekend, and let's hope the racing fans have a good day's racing.
Super. Thanks very much. Graham Hawkins joining us on the line for the Hollywoodbets Durbanville meeting, and hopefully everything goes according to the script.